Our next guest once dazzled figure skating fans with his intense, passionate performances on the ice, myself included. But throughout his athletic career, Toller Cranston poured just as much of his heart and soul into his art. Tonight, for the first time in North America, the Order of Canada member will host a live stage presentation at Art Evolution until December 6th. You can view some of this incredibly detailed work at the Crossroads Art Center, and I can't believe I'm sitting next to Toller Cranston. Good morning.
I can't believe that was me.
Really?
I was not bad, I guess.
You were pretty good. No, and you were, before your time, you were the most artistic and expressive figure skater. Did they get you? Did they understand you? Did anybody understand you?
Usually with anybody that does anything, I mean Vincent van Gogh, and I'm not comparing myself, but it never really is understood at the time. But, and I really, I actually told Kurt Browning once, who came to visit, I said, you know, we're toast compared to Patrick Chan, who is our Canadian world champion. But Patrick Chan did need people like me and Kurt and others to precede him in order to sort of carry the torch. You see, this was, I mean, it's awful to say, but like 40 years ago.
But you were adored by the public, but it was the sort of figure skating community or the judges.
Adored and hated.
Were you hated too?
Yeah, sure, because with anything that, shall we say, anything that's controversial, the reason that you're disparaged or disliked is because you're not understood. And actually, I always sort of say to artist friends of mine, especially younger ones, if everyone likes you, you're doing something wrong. So you have to sort of dance on the razor's edge.
Well, I was very surprised to learn that you helped fund your figure skating career through visual art, through your painting. Yes,
and that really for almost any athlete, especially Olympic athletes, today they almost can't. In those days, which truly was quite different, there were people, they never knocked on my door, but they would sponsor you or help, rich people would help pay for you. And at 16 and 17, and after numbers of Olympic Games, it would be incumbent upon me to actually have to pay for the teacher to, say, go to Japan or something.
Right.
And I could do it. I mean, I did it with, it was very difficult, but I was really an artist that skated, sort of.
An artist that skated. And was the art world, I mean, whereas you were not completely understood by the skating world, were you embraced by the art world? Did they get you?
What happened there, and you're opening quite a few can of worms for breakfast, but people and the media, historically, always want to put you into a box because you are this or you are that. And I really was sort of all over the board as to really what I did, which, I mean, even today, I am not going to say I'm a this or I'm a that, but I've also published 11 books. And it really is just it all derives from the same creative reservoir. So, but you're not the skater or the skier or the whatever. Many different things, and it all really emanates from that one sort of creative source. And I had a body that that played to the hand of being an athlete, which probably Leonardo da Vinci didn't.
Right.
I mean, he didn't do the Russian splits, I think.
We don't know. We're not sure. I want to make sure that we get to this beautiful piece that you brought in. In fact, as I was looking through your work last night on the internet, this was one that struck me very much, Soir de Carnaval. Tell us about this lady.
Well, I mean, the great fear of all artists is what do you do and what do you paint? Because, I mean, in a way, the work sort of speaks for itself. But I was in Mexico, and my work has always been atypical, not typical, of what one might think of as Canadian art. And strangely, this is really kind of funny because in French, l'histoire se répète, history repeats itself. I was sort of rejected by a museum show that should be nameless in Ontario, and they said, well, you're too unusual. And I sort of want to say, but because you're unusual, that's the very reason you should have me. I mean, it would not be typical, but from the time that I was 8, the work was 8 years old. It was very, very similar. And I did have one great thing, one of the few great things within skating. It was never winning medals, but it was rather the ability to travel worldwide and see every museum of the world. So my influence would have come from sort of a global influence, and that became just really, really important. So what I'm saying is the subject matter is not the Rocky Mountains with, you know, bears and trees.
No Algonquin Park.
Right.
It is colorful, beautiful. We urge you to go see it. Toller, tonight we'll be at Art Evolution for a live presentation called A Terrifying Obsession, followed by the exhibition of his work. And I urge you, check it out, breakfasttelevision.ca. Sir, what a pleasure to meet you.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us this
morning.